My name is Dawson, and I own a dental marketing agency that helps dentists get more patients. Whether you're an implant dentist, you want to get more full arch or half arch cases, maybe you want to focus on being the top Invisalign provider of your community, or maybe you just want a regular office, you want more bread and butter patients, want to work less days, hire an associate, whatever brings you here, we can help you. Feel free to schedule a call with me at the link below, and look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks. All right, let's jump into the video. TikTok is going to be our topic of conversation today. I'm sure TikTok floods your mind with visions of 17-year-old kids dancing or adults that reenact their dancing, and it's very embarrassing and it makes you cringe and it scares you and you're like, what is this new platform? It's so weird. Over the past couple months, TikTok has really been accepted by the general public. It's been allowed into the fold of the coveted or trusted new apps for social media. This is exciting for you for a couple different reasons. One is not a lot of dentists are marketing on TikTok, which is making it the new avenue, the new frontier for advertising. Now, what are some of the pros for advertising on TikTok? Well, just a given, a lot of the younger generation, believe it or not, is on TikTok. So if you want to reach someone, maybe you're looking to increase your Invisalign production, a lot of those, that age range there is going to be on this platform. The reason that's important is because not a lot of advertisers are on the platform, ad costs are really low right now. I want to call it an all-time low because by the day more advertisers are flocking to the platform. I mean, the sooner you start, the better ad costs you're going to get to market to the younger generation, if you will. Another pro of advertising on TikTok is the way you pay for an ad is through a click instead of an impression. For Facebook or Instagram, they're going to charge you just based on if the person saw your ad, but on TikTok, they're going to charge you if someone actually clicked on the ad. This is critical because more people are going to be engaging with your ad, meaning you're only paying for people that clicked on the link and were interested in seeing what you had to provide. Now, what are some of the cons for advertising on TikTok? A lot of dentists out there think they need to dance in order to advertise on TikTok, or that's one of the main pain points is, Dawson, I'm not a good dancer. I'm not going to be out there embarrassing myself in front of my community, my employees, my spouse. They're just not going to do it. And you don't need to dance. Okay, let me just alleviate some of that stress right now. You don't need to dance in order to advertise on TikTok, fortunately. So maybe not needing to dance on the platform could be a pro. So let's put that in the pro column. In terms of cons, the biggest con for TikTok is targeting. So with targeting, again, it's newer platform, so they're going to be really figuring this stuff out along the way. But as of now, the targeting for a specific, dare I say, geo-targeted location, it's a pretty wide radius depending on where you live. So in the past, they said you can target different cities. So they had kind of cities. So if you're in Denver, you can target Denver. If you're in Los Angeles, you can target Los Angeles. They're starting to break that up into different neighborhoods or different marketing sites. Depends on where you live, on kind of what marketing site that they have for you. They're kind of, I don't want to say gerrymandering the borders to try and find, okay, who has the maybe most amount of TikTok users, and let's kind of focus on that area. That could be one concern for a dentist. Maybe their ads are being shown to too wide of an audience. That could be a concern, but from my experience, you still get results. That's what we see. They're probably going to come out with better targeting locations as, time goes on. They're obviously innovating on the platform, but right now that is the main concern. Now, what should dentists be aware of before they advertise on TikTok? The biggest one would be TikTok's algorithm. You want to understand just a little bit more about how the algorithm works in order to really be successful when you're marketing on the platform. So how does the TikTok algorithm work? Well, it's largely based on user interactions. Pretty standard to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If someone engages with your content, i.e. they like it, comment, maybe click the link, if there is a link in the video that you share, the video is going to naturally do better. Some general guidelines for creating your TikTok video. Doesn't necessarily, this is one of the myths out there, it doesn't necessarily need to be a 2-second video. It doesn't need to be very short. In fact, there's videos on TikTok that can go as long as, I believe, 3 minutes. Some creators on TikTok are actually suggesting you do a longer video. Reason being is TikTok wants you to stay on the platform as long as possible. So if your video that is 3 minutes long does very well, people are engaged in actually watching it, they're going to be suggesting it to other users. Another myth out there is you don't necessarily need to post daily in order for TikTok to suggest your content. That is one of the myths they have on their community page. In order to end up on the For You page, which is kind of the suggested page for TikTok, make sure you're using, if you can find any trending sounds, maybe there's a little trend with a specific sound associated with it, anything that you can do with that using the appropriate hashtags, you're going to have a higher likelihood of reaching a wider audience because more people are going to be familiar with that content, if that makes sense. Again, algorithm pretty simple, common sense. If people like the video, Instagram's going to show up more. If someone specifically goes onto the video and says, I don't want to see this content, TikTok is not going to show your video as often. Now, what is needed to create a successful TikTok video? Well, kind of gave some of the hints away before. You want to use something that's trending. The easiest way is always to use one of those trending sounds. Make sure you have captions for people that don't have, maybe they're not using sound on their phone as they're scrolling, so make sure you have captions, but make sure it is a part of some type of trend. You want to use the appropriate hashtags and do something a little different, do kind of see how you can innovate or kind of go another way on a trend that usually does the best there. It's important to remember your audience, think of your patients, think about what they would maybe enjoy, your target audience, your market, what would they enjoy, what would they want to see. Although it's important for the algorithm to use the trending sounds, you want to make sure your video can stand on its own without sound. As I said before, use all the hashtags, put the captions on there so you can read them. Pretty simple. Really the best go for TikTok is you don't know what video is going to pop, if you will. So you want to have a couple different, it's kind of like experimenting. You don't know which one is going to work out. So do a handful of videos if you're going to take the time to actually make some and learn from that, learn from what video does the best, try and figure out why it did the best while some of the other videos maybe didn't, and use that information to continue to iterate, and eventually you will go viral on TikTok, if you will. Now, what are some of the best practices for TikTok? Well, biggest one is utilizing the creators that are already out there or other influencers. Combining with an influencer, I'll do a whole separate video on this if I haven't already posted it on the channel. Combining or teaming up with an influencer that already has your potential patients out there. If you have let's say a local influencer in your city that has a wide range of an audience that you feel would be a good fit for your practice, make sure to potentially team up with them, really find out if there's a way for you guys to work together. Maybe you exchange a free teeth whitening or a discount on Invisalign for them to come into your office, make content about that, and then post it on their page with some special link to whatever they have to offer, whatever special you're running, then that can be a great way to get more patients. Again, I'll do a whole nother video explaining the process there and kind of how we do things, but that's a really good start, is teaming up with other influencers on the platform. Another great thing to do on TikTok is to use user-generated content. Now, if you team up with an influencer, fortunately, this step is going to be already taken care of because they're the ones that actually create the content for the platform. Of course, that content is going to be specific to your practice, so it's going to have your branding on it, but finding different people that are able to make content for you that are already familiar with the platform is going to usually be the best way to go. Another good practice is to engage with your followers. Maybe someone had a funny comment or kind of reacted to your video in a funny way. It's important to engage with the people that are already following with your platform so that you can have a better community and hence be more shareable. Now, why should dentists advertise on TikTok? As I said before, right now, the costs are, dare I say, the lowest that they'll be. I mean, maybe they'll be lower 2,000 years from now when I don't know what's going to happen, but maybe not. Maybe it's going to be around. Who knows? Right now, ad costs are at an all-time low, so you want to make sure you get into the platform, really find out what's going to work for your practice, and kind of beat everyone else to the punch by getting there first. Another good reason is your content is going to go to a wider audience of people. Because there are an all-time high of users on the platform and creators are joining every day, there's not enough supplies to meet the demand, if you will, meaning your video is going to be showed to more people just because there's of the number of videos they have on the platform. Every day, I'm sure that reach is going to go down just a little bit, so you want to make sure you get on the platform before everyone else does. And to piggyback on that last point, like I said, you're going to hit a wider audience of people, meaning there's a better chance of you reaching a potential patient in your area than if you start a month from now or 2 months from now. Maybe that reach won't be there in terms of that algorithm suggesting your videos to them. So it's a great time to start. If you're interested in potentially running TikTok ads, feel free to schedule a call at the link below. Let's find out if your practice is a good match for what we do. Sometimes we get on these calls with a practice and maybe your referral rate is just a little too low in order to, maybe advertising doesn't make sense because it's kind of like a negative feedback loop. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure you're in a good place to advertise. Some practices aren't, kind of my whole caveat there. But if you're interested, if you think it could be, you think it could work, schedule that call. We'll have a conversation and we'll go from there. Anyway, dentists, enjoy the rest of your day. If you have the guts, make a cool video on TikTok, and I will talk to you later. Thanks.